Hey guys, House here, and welcome back to our second episode of Europa Universalis Rome. And today we are going to commit to the war against Magna Gracia and Epirus. Now, historically, the legions of Rome that fought in this war were commanded by Barbula, who is our consul. But we have appointed instead Gaius Fabricius Licinius to head our army, and also historically the army was 80,000 strong. We only have 26,000 men. However, Tarentum has 6 units, so I can split our army in half and use one half of our army to attack and the other to defend Lucania in case the enemy decides to retreat or avoid the confrontation. So let's move a suitable sized army over here as we split. I think I'll move 3 archers. Let's see here. So they have 6,000 heavy infantry, 4,000 archers. They have 13,000 infantry, 3,000 archers. I think I'll give them one more, and then we'll peel off some more. That should do it. So they're going to have 9,000 infantry, 4,000 archers, 10,000 infantry, 3,000 archers. Okay, so those are our 2 armies. For the second legion here, we're going to appoint another leader. We're going to appoint Lucius Aemilius Barbula, so we're more historically correct. So Barbula will command the other army, and Fabricius Licinius will command the other legion. So we have 2 legions now. I'm going to send Lucius Aemilius Barbula to the south and Lucania. Now also we have a fleet here. It's rather small compared to Epirus' fleet, which is slightly larger. So I'm going to move our navy down to Lucania and the harbor there, so it'll be closer. But we're also going to appoint a naval leader here. Let's see here. I believe the naval leaders are called naval prefects. Okay. So we want a good commander. I think we will appoint Publius Cornelius Rufinus. He will be our naval commander. So he will move the fleet to Lucania. Alright. Now, a little bit of a history lesson before we start. I'm kind of liking these little history lessons. Okay, so this war started off when Rome was expanding into the Greek the Greek cities to the south. Now, the Greek cities in the south, Magna Gracia, knew that after Rome was done with all of its wars against Samnite, that it would indeed begin marching south, and it did. It began marching south. So Magna Gracia petitioned to Epirus to help. Pyrrhic, the king of Epirus, accepted their request because he owed Magna Gracia quite a bit of money, because Magna Gracia had helped finance his conquest of this little island here called Corica. So Epirus had expanded and taken Corica. And Epirus also needed a lot of money. And his idea was that he was going to come over here to Rome, fight Rome, pillage a lot of Rome, win the war, and make a lot of money. And he also had plans to pillage in Syracuse and some of the Carthaginian territory. And he was going to take this little empire that he would have carved out. He was going to use that money to hire a large army to take back Macedonia, because he was kicked out of Macedonia. So, and he had lots of allies. He also had purchased 20 elephants from the Seleucid Empire. Now, he had also received other phalangites, which are the standard Greek infantrymen with a shield and a very long polearm, and they fought in phalanx formation. Now, he was given quite a few of those by other Greek city-states that favored him. So he brought over about 20,000 men to Rome, to fight Rome. Now, the first battle to take place was called the Battle of Heracleum. The Battle of Heraclea. The Battle of Heraclea was a victory for Pyrrhus. Pyrrhus used the elephants to break the Romans back. Now, for the most part, the Roman legions had held their own against the phalanx, and it was the first time in history that the Roman legions fought the Greek phalanx. And they fought to a stalemate until the elephants came in, and the Romans have never fought elephants before. Now, they lost that battle. They lost about half of the 30,000 men that fought in the battle, the Romans lost. And Pyrrhus lost about 7,000 to 11,000 men. After that battle, Pyrrhus decided he was going to march towards Rome. And he did. He marched almost to Rome. He was about 2 days away from Rome, where a large Roman army of about 30,000 men faced him. Now, Pyrrhus was concerned that Roman armies that were maneuvering in the south and were tailing his army would come up from his rear, and then he'd also be fighting the army to the front. So he decided to retreat, and retreat he did. Now, let's see. He retreated to Asculum. Asculum was another Roman town where he retreated to, and he ended up fighting the Romans there instead, on more favorable ground. Now, the Romans had came up with new plans on how to counter Pyrrhus's elephants. See, the Romans were always a very smart military power. They had learned how to use the round shield when they fought against the Etrurians. They had learned how to use Greek siege equipment when they had fought against the Greeks in the past. So they learned how to siege cities. And then later on, when they were fighting the Samnites, they learned how to fight with shield and pilus, or the pilum, basically the javelin. So the Roman javelin was being used. And so the Romans had constantly learned from their enemies. And in this case, the Romans had created chariots armed with spikes on the wheels. And they had also created vases full of flammable liquid to create large areas of fire to scare the elephants. And they also trained skirmishing units to throw the pilus at the elephants. So they had all that in their repertoire to fight Pyrrhus. Well, the battle went well, but eventually the Roman army was defeated because Pyrrhus was a brilliant commander. However, at that battle, Pyrrhus had lost most of his officers, and it's said that Pyrrhus said, "One more victory like this and my army will be undone." And that's where the Pyrrhic victory came to be known. At that battle, the Battle of Asculum. And then the final battle, and then we'll continue on to the war. The final battle was fought near the city of Beneventum, I think that's what it's, Beneventum. And there a Roman legion had moved there, about 17,000 Romans, probably around this area here, and had set up defensive positions, and Pyrrhus decided to attack at night. However, the attack failed, and Pyrrhus lost half of his elephants and most of the light infantry he sent in. And at that point, Pyrrhus decided to return to Epirus and leave the Italian people of the southern peninsula who were fighting against Rome to their own fate. And after that, Rome was able to conquer the southern Italian peninsula, and they owned what we now know today to be Rome, or Italy, rather, except for the northern parts of Italy, which are owned by the Gauls. Alright, so I just started the game here, and as you can see, we got quite a few screens that popped up here. Now, remember before we came to the characters and we gave them a bunch of titles? Well, this is the effect. So, Gaius Fabricius Licinius, he became a legate, and because of that, he gained 10 family prestige, 30 loyalty to Rome, 1 martial prowess, and a military conviction, so a gain of 5. So he's gained more conviction towards the military faction. That's good. And then Quintus Caedicus, he became tribune of the soldier. He gains military conviction of 3, etc. So it keeps going on. Tribunes of the soldiers. Here's Pontifex. He gains religious conviction for becoming a Pontifex. And then powerful factions want us to conquer Magna Gracia. The cities of Magna Gracia have become a real thorn in our side. It just might be better to incorporate those Greek cities into the Roman realm. So true. Okay. Okay, so that was your lengthy history lesson. Now we can see if we'll actually win this battle and see whether Epirus is actually able to get troops into Rome. We're going to try to prevent that ahistorical. Let's see here. We have some marriages. Our consul got married to Pyrrhic Secunda, and that was one of his ambitions. And Marcus Attilius Regulus got married, and he gains a religious conviction. Alright, so let's march on Tarentum. We're going to take Licinius to march on Tarentum, and hopefully destroy them there. After that, we'll march on Ager Brutius. Brutius' tribe was actually one of the tribes that fought heavily against Rome, such as the Samnites, but the Samnites were ever a thorn in Rome's side. Many of these areas were enemy tribes. They were not Roman. They later became Roman, but in the beginning they were not Roman. Alright, so the First Legion's about to start the war. You can see over here we have a trade agreement offer from Massilia. And they want to trade Truria iron and Emporian wine. So yes, I'll accept that offer. Which reminds me, we still have other trade routes we need to set up. Let's try let's see here, Picenum and Carthage, and Sinai and Rome. I don't know why I didn't go through last time, but we'll just keep trying. Alright, now let's fight. So the papyrus for wine went through, so that's good. So now Rome has Pyrrhus. We're not getting any here, I want to set up these trade routes before they're all gone. We want to get some grain if possible. So we'll try to trade grain for there. And then all the horses are already gone, as you can see. However, we could get iron possibly. So we'll try for iron with Rome, or Picenum. Okay, and then spices are always good. Spices give religious prestige, enhances the prestige of our religion back in our home territories, so we could try for that. They don't want to trade right now. We have a diplomat en route. Okay, and there's also food. We could trade for food. Let's see, Apulia or Umbria. Yeah, Umbria. We'll do that one. So grain for wine, and fail. Alright, that happens. So for now, we'll just trade internally. We'll trade, they got grain. We'll trade stone to Rome, so its defensiveness is higher. And the salt will trade to Campania. And then Apua will have to trade with Rhodes, I suppose. Caraxi, possibly. Might as well try. Okay. Alright. So, the Battle of Tarentum. we won the Battle of Tarentum, and they are retreating right now. So we're going to pull our troops to Apula and hopefully get there before the Magna Gracia army gets there. Let's see here. We will arrive March 2nd, they will arrive March 2nd, so pretty much the same time. You can see Epirus is, all their ships are out at sea. They're running away. Many other wars are starting in the game right now. Alright, another thing I wanted to do was start recruiting some new triremes to increase the size of our fleet. Alright, we won the Battle of Tarentum there, and this battle here at Apulia is going well in our favor. He's a better general, Aenon Sosiclid. Lessons learned on the battlefield. Lucius Aemilius Barbaro's confidence and courage are truly remarkable. He is a real inspiration to all our troops. There's no doubt that they would follow him anywhere he orders. Rally the troops. He gains the trait confident. Excellent. So let's check out. Okay, during the struggle, 2,355 of our troops were killed, and they lost 997. But we still won the battle. That was a Pyrrhic victory. For us. So confident allows the rally combat event. Rally basically gets some of the morale back from your armies. During the combat. Alright. So the siege is going pretty well. You can see that they're retreating from us. We'll just be following them, keeping them away from our cities, not allowing them to siege anything. Alright. Some Romans getting married. Let's check on our council here. Our senate. Alright, everything looks okay. We killed more Magna Gracian troops. Canian's under attack. I'm going to continue chasing this army here. And I'm considering assaulting Tarentum. Epirus has still not landed any troops in Italy, which is excellent. He's probably getting news that Magna Gracia is doing pretty poorly. The Roman legions are strong. Oh, maybe that's why. Okay, this didn't happen in history, but in this game right now, Carthage declared war on Epirus. So Epirus is going to be fighting a battle against Carthage. Carthage is quite large at this period of time. Carthage was the Mediterranean power of that day. So we're going to go ahead and assault at Tarentum. Hopefully do quite a bit of damage. We might be able to take it. I don't know. Yes, so we sieged Tarentum, we assaulted them, and we were able to take Tarentum. I'm going to move to Lucania, and then Aegir Brutus, and then we should be able to win this war. I'm hoping that no ships, or these ships don't have any troops on them, because if they do, that would be unfortunate for us. They moved units to Rome. Well, we can't have that. Cannot have that. We'll move there. It does look like they're moving ships. Hopefully not against us. No, I think they will be moving. Killed the troops sieging Rome. Alright, so we'll move to Umbria. You can see that army is still running from us. think we could also call in our allies, but you can see here there's a negative sign next to this option here. I mean, senators in favor is 49 out of 99, so our ruler would lose popularity if we chose that option. Basically, you only want to do things that the Roman Senate agrees with. Wow, we just completely wiped out an army of 3,000 men at Magna Gracia. Excellent. Their morale is extremely low. I'm going to try and assault them. It's worth a shot. See, we're playing cat and mouse to the north. Alright, so in about 3 months we'll begin another assault, and we should be able to take them out. So Carthage and Magna Gracia, or Carthage and Epirus are fighting a war against each other. I don't like this, mainly because Carthage is going to go and take Syracuse, and if they take Syracuse, then I can't take Syracuse, because Epirus, I think I could defeat Epirus in battle. But Carthage is going to be a much stronger opponent. So I am not ready to fight Carthage. I need a strong fleet to contest theirs. So I'm playing a little bit of cat and mouse up here. If he moves, I move. Alright. We suspect bribes by those less fortunate members of society who soil their hands with trade, unlike true nobles who derive their income from farming. Whatever is happening, our Senate seems to be favoring mercantilist interests more. So the mercantilist faction has gained quite a few senators. You can see their numbers are growing, which is fine because it looks like several of them came out of the populist faction. See, the populist faction is declining in size. It's good. Alright. So we're going to assault again. Is that... We won there. Looks like Carthage. Let's see. Magna Gracia is at war with Carthage. Well, Carthage, this is my territory now, and I'm going to annex them. Yes, the Senate is 100% in favor of annexing Magna Gracia. So we take out Magna Gracia. They've accepted the peace, then their full annexation. We've also imprisoned Perchon Oloponid. He's the Hierophant, and the civic faction leader Gaius Antonius Trebonius. That's a fun name. Now that's a Roman name right there. That's an Italian name. Gaius Antonius Trebonius. Okay. So, he was the civic faction leader. Overall, I don't think... he's not that good. His finesse is just terrible, but he is a Roman. He believes in the Roman religion, etc., so I might as well consider releasing him. Let's see what we would get from releasing that man. This man here, though, is the former consul of Magna Gracia, and he's also the populist faction. Oh man, I do not like this man here. However, he is wounded. If we leave him in prison, though, it should be okay. He's unhealthy. He's a prominent member of society. He's chaste. We're going to go ahead and release him. And we gain one civic faction member. And the other guy can stay and rot in the prison cells. Okay. So, the battle against Epirus, the war against Epirus still continues. I can't sue for peace. The Senate does not favor it, so it prohibits me from doing that. Epirus has 9 ships out. We have 9 ships now, too. So I can try and sail. Oh, here we go. Our mission was completed, conquer Magna Gracia. We gain 1 stability, and Lucius Aemilius Barbula, our consul, gains 5 prominence. Excellent. And good news, our realm stability went up. And foreigner seeks asylum. My consul Titus Mamilius Polus, the populist faction leader, a refugee from Magna Gracia, has arrived seeking asylum. That's not good. I had quite a few populists in that faction, as you can see. But he is Roman, but he's one hell of a populist. If you look at his faction points there, 2,021 points. That means he's a populist for life. So part of me wants to imprison this man. I think we're going to imprison this man. He's relatively popular. He is loyal though, but he wants a title. What does he want? Any title, huh? Well, maybe we can work with him. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you guys in the comments. Shall we imprison this man, Titus Mamilius Polus, or shall we allow him into the Senate? Alright, so let's go to government here. Pretty solid. We can also enact another law. Here we go. Freeman to citizen. Heavy infantry discipline. Lex civitas deces. Our citizens are becoming lazy and complacent. We must ensure they understand the importance of service by getting them into the army. Excellent. I am going to enact this law. We lose some stability, but Lex civitas deces is enacted. Excellent. Alright. So, we'll keep this army to the south, in the south. We'll leave this other army in Etruria. What I want to do, now that the majority of the Pyrrhic War is over, and Epirus has their hands full with Carthage, we're going to be moving our fleet around and trying to engage them in combat, and get our fleet some experience, and continue to grow it. We're going to build some more triremes. And we'll continue this war until it ends. And then I have plans to expand into Liguria and Bononia. These areas to the north are largely plains, followed by a rim of mountains. And they're owned by the Celts, who are these barbarian people here. And Gallia Cisalpina, here we'll be fighting barbarians for the first time in this Let's Play series. And to prepare for that, I'm going to recruit 2 units of Velites in these 2 provinces, and I'll move them into Liguria and Bononia. Alright. Now we have a new mission, and this new mission is to destroy Carthage. The conflict with the Carthaginians has been dragging on for too long. It's time we level their cities to the ground and break them once and for all. And I agree. And that's more in line with history. After the Pyrrhic Wars, Rome went to war with Carthage. But before we go to war with Carthage, we're going to need to get our fleet. We're going to need to increase the size of our fleet substantially. And that's going to require gold. So we'll work on getting our new trade routes set up with these cities down here. And in the next Let's Play, I'll have the trade routes all set up. And we'll continue pursuing a war against Carthage, and we'll also begin the war against the barbarian Gauls to the north, and colonize those 2 provinces to the north. Okay, I'm Righthouse. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.